change that to see if there's anything. There we go. Okay, so this is getting into areas like Bahama, where we already had storm damage just a couple days ago. I know folks said there were a couple trees down in Bahama toward Rougemont, where I know Kat was just saying that that's an area that we're looking towards. So if you're around Bahama within the next 10 minutes, toward Rougemont within the next 15 minutes, and then farther to the north from there. There's no warning for Person or Granville counties just yet, but there could be, just based on that rotation. And before I toss things back over to meteorologist Kat Campbell, we'll give you one last look here at DBAP. So again, anything that we have, it's tough to see, Kat. It's wrapped in rain.
Absolutely, and that's why we switched over our radar scan mode. So we now have dual Doppler 5000 velocity scanning specifically for these kind of tornadoes, so we can get a lower scan. I did want to pull up the storm tracker really quickly. Take a look at the storm tracker. I'll put it on a map for you as well. The storm tracker's on US 401 right now, and the roads are wet. They've seen some ponding on the roadways and winds picking up at times as well. So let's take a look. I'm using the weather system Weather 4 right now. Before we go street level, I wanted to show you behind me what we have going on here, and I wanted to put a storm track on this past the tornado warning in case it gets extended, just to let folks in Cary know the time of arrival for the circulation would probably be right around 11:40. So just over 10 minutes from now. You're not currently under the tornado warning if you live in Cary or Raleigh, but if they extend this tornado warning, then you would likely be placed in it. So here's the timing, just giving you extra time to prepare. In Raleigh, it's right around 11:45, and in Millbrook, 11:54. So now let's go street level on some of the new scans. We've got a couple minutes left in this tornado warning, and the Weather Service has said that they will let this one expire, but they could opt to issue a new one. So here's where we have the rotation right now. You can see I have it on a faster scan mode on the dual Doppler 5000 radar, so we're getting in these updates a lot faster. That circle right there, that's where we have the rotation right now. So let me clear that off just so you get an idea of kind of what we're looking at here. This is crossing right over 540, I-540, a very, very popular road to travel along. There was already dead stop traffic as I was driving into work on 440 today. The roads are going to be a mess. If you're watching us right now in Wake County, if you can avoid traveling for the next 2 hours on the roads, I recommend doing so. And this is exactly why it can be dangerous to be in your car when there is a tornado or a threat of tornadoes. And this is where we have that key threat right now. Let's talk about where it's going to be headed next. 1010 Road, very popular road. Graham Newton Road up toward Penny Road. So this is going to be coming close to some vet offices up there. And I have some friends that live there on Penny Road as well. Penny Road and Holly Springs Road. We have a couple people here at work that live there as well. So if you're watching right now and you're not already in the office, please be on alert. And we'll continue to see this circulation track to the north. If it holds together, and there's no guarantee that this tornado warning will be extended, but I want to let folks in Cary, specifically in the Crossroads community, know, Crossroads, a very popular shopping center. A lot of people kind of live in this area right in here. That's going to be the next area that we could see this rotation cross over. In terms of the long-term trajectory of where it could be crossing, again, you are not currently under the tornado warning at NC State, but it would be crossing actually very close to the TV station here up toward NC State if this cell were to hold together. So you don't need to be in your safe place yet if you are at NC State or if you are at Crossroads. However, we want to let you know down the road you could be added, so leave your TV on. Don't forget you can stream us for free on the WRAL News app, and that way we can keep you up to date. We're also streaming on YouTube and some other sites as well. This is one of the tornado warnings that we are continuing to monitor right now. We are checking in for an update on the warning in Durham County right now. The National Weather Service, if you live in Durham, said they are continuing to monitor that cell. The rotation is not as strong, and it looks like they just expired both the tornado warning in Durham as well as the tornado warning that we have in Wake County. So no active warnings at the moment in the Triangle. We will very, very likely get more tornado warnings. So you are not in the clear yet if you live in the Triangle, to be very clear. But I want to switch over. We've got one tornado warning in effect right now, and this one is particularly concerning. It does include Clinton, so we're going to get that Clinton camera pulled up for you and double box it soon. Okay, it's in camera 37. If
Yep.
we can double box that, this is a pretty wicked looking cell here that we have moving through Sampson County. So I just switched over to the closest radar site. We're going to pull up the velocities here, and you know, it's actually not quite as tight as it was earlier when I was watching it. However, we do still have some pretty potent circulation moving through that area, and a lot of lightning. You often don't see so much lightning with these tropical tornadoes, but there is quite a bit of lightning. The worst has passed over Garland right now, but we are going to see this rotation head for Clinton here pretty soon. So let me put a storm track on this cell here. We're going to get a closer look at the latest speed. One of the things we've been mentioning all day, Amy and Chris have done a great job, is just how quickly these storm cells are moving. That's pretty common in a tropical tornado warning. It's moving to the north at about 40 miles per hour, so not quite as fast as those 60-mile-an-hour storms that we were tracking earlier this afternoon. But 40 miles per hour, Clinton, the storm should arrive right around 11:49. So if you live in Clinton, you've got just over 20 minutes to get to the lowest level of your home, the most interior room. Some other cities that will be impacted: Butler's Crossroads, Piney Ridge at 11:45, Bonnetsville at 11:47, 11:48 for Johnstontown, and in Clinton we're looking at 11:49. So we're getting word from Chris Michaels. It's not confirmed right now, but there could potentially be damage on the Maud Stewart, Kennebec area.
So South Wake.
Southern Wake. So that's where, you know, we saw a little bit of potentially debris moving in out of Harnett County earlier. That was that storm where we had the tornado warning up for Fuquay-Varina up into Holly Springs. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that area. Right now, no active warnings. However, I don't think we're in the clear yet in Wake County. We're still going to be dealing with this storm for probably another hour and a half in the county, and at any given point in time, we can see these cells wrap up very quickly. Let's take a live look at the radar, the dual Doppler 5000 radar right now, and put the storm tracker on it as well, so you can get a good idea of where our storm tracker is at the moment. The storm tracker is in Wilson County right now, and it looks like they are heading west potentially toward Buckhorn Crossroads. So they are seeing some, okay, this might be out of date right here. Where is the storm tracker right now? North of Fuquay-Varina. So north of Fuquay-Varina, 401 north is where we've got the storm tracker. We are closely monitoring that area because they were so close to the rotation that we had earlier. And right now, you know, if we have Anthony there, has he seen anything lowering? It seems, Brett Neese, have you seen any kind of lowering in the sky? We did have something earlier that looked like it could potentially be debris as it crossed out of Harnett County and into Wake County. It's probably rain wrapped. All right.
Yeah, Kat, we are here on 401 right now, Kat, heading northbound, north of Fuquay-Varina. You can see our windshield wipers going as quickly as they can. We haven't seen anything that you guys have been describing of that lowering in the clouds that you guys have been talking about over the last few minutes or so. Right now, just the rain going as much as possible. You can see the ponding on the side of the road. Look at how much water is there on the side of the road, splashing up because of our tires there. Right now on 401 northbound. This is what we are dealing with, a lot of drivers dealing with here in this part of Wake County right now. Haven't come across any debris. Really, it's just this massive amounts of rain, a lot of ponding on the side of the road, some of it on the roads themselves. And at this point, we are going to continue northbound on 401 and check back in with you in just a few minutes. If you have any other questions, though, please send them our way.
You know, this is why you just don't want to be out driving in these storms. Aside from the tornado threat that we will be facing around the triangle for the next hour to 2 hours, the ponding on the roads, the flooding already very serious. Just as the rain was beginning, I was driving into work and we were already seeing widespread ponding on the roads on I-440. So the roads are a mess. We just can't take any more rain. And then you add the flooding, the hydroplane risk to the tornado threat. It's really going to be dangerous to travel. So I think it was wise that a lot of schools canceled today. We just want people to be at home and safe. And remember, if you do happen to lose power, you can stream us for free on the WRAL News app, YouTube, and also on our website on WRAL News Plus as well. So this is the rain band from Helene that we're watching. This is what's going to spin up those tornado warnings. We've got one to our west in Caswell County, and we've got a tornado warning as well in Sampson County. That's going to be headed for Clinton in about 15 minutes is when you'll see the greatest impact. No active warnings in the triangle at the moment. You are not yet in the clear in the triangle. But big picture, this is going to be pretty slowly to move out. It will gradually push east. So if you do live in Wilson, Wilson, Nash County, you still haven't seen the worst of this arrive yet, but it is going to be coming your way this afternoon. A quick reminder for people that are watching right now and are not under the tornado warning there in Clinton and Samson County, there is a tornado watch until 6 p.m. That means conditions are favorable. I do think that the National Weather Service is going to be able to expire this tornado watch a little bit early this afternoon. I don't think the threat will be all the way until 6 p.m., but we are monitoring it very closely. And we're also keeping an eye on our camera in Clinton. As soon as the storm arrives, we will be changing the angle of our camera to see if we can see any kind of wall cloud, which is often a precursor to a tornado potentially touching down. But as of right now, not seeing anything too suspicious in the distance. I don't think we'll be able to see anything lowering any kind of rotation on this camera for probably another 5 to 10 minutes. So if you live in Clinton, that is a good thing. You still have a little bit of time to seek shelter. Flash flood emergencies are in effect for most of the North Carolina mountains right now. Power outages are growing, especially around the Charlotte area. And even in our viewing area, we're starting to see some power outages pop up. And I want to stress, because of the power outages, there's also cell towers that are going down in the mountains. If you are unable to reach your family and friends, maybe you have kids in college in the mountains, it may be because the cell towers are going down. I ran into that issue with a friend earlier. She was seeing really dangerous flooding and we lost contact. Here's the latest on this tornado warning. We still have about 25 minutes to go left in the warning. If we take a look inside the storm right now, we are still seeing some rotation. This is probably our best view right here. This is the wind going toward the radar right in here. And then this is the wind going away from the radar. So let's get to some street level tracking here where we've got the circulation right now. I want to start calling out some communities and towns that need to be seeking shelter. Butler's Crossroads, Piney Ridge, Snow Hill. The worst of the circulation is just east of you. However, if you live on the east side of town, I really would recommend getting into your safe place, because even if it's not the rotating part of the storm moving over you, it's still going to be a very intense part of the thunderstorm that's moving over you. And this is right along Highway 24 there in Snow Hill. So Butler's Crossroads, you're going to be right under the worst of this rotation. Tyndall Grove Road, Chancey Road, Boykin Bridge Road, Piney Ridge. Those are all some communities that are in danger right now. Airport Road, so this is going to pass near the Sampson County Airport there in Clinton, where we get all of our weather observations. Please, folks that are at that airport, you need to batten down the hatches, bring your planes inside the garage. That's going to be a big issue, as there could be some pretty potent winds. Even outside of the rotating storm, we could see winds gusting up to about 60 miles per hour in some of these storms. And downtown Clinton, you will be at risk of this rotating storm. It's probably going to cross right overhead the way it's oriented. And we are continuing to watch the latest on this. We're getting new information in every couple of minutes with new scans. We also have good news. Meteorologist Chris Michaels, we want to give people a sigh of relief. Some people,
yes.
Not everybody yet, but we've got a little good news. We want to be sure to share that with you as well.
Yeah, and I'll make this brief because I know, Kat, what you're talking about is very urgent here, but the tornado watch for Moore, Hoke, Lee, and Chatham counties, that has been canceled early. That's certainly a sign of some good news. In fact, I would give you the all clear if you're in Orange County as well. That's the green right there, while we still track this line of very nasty storms that's moving through, especially again in Samson County. We'll give you that street level view. Boykin Bridge Road, Tyndall Grove Road, Bass Lake Road. Now this is Bass Lake in Sampson County, not the Bass Lake that a lot of you guys are familiar with in Holly Springs, but as you go toward Piney Ridge, it looks like Airport Road, Faircloth Highway near Bonnetsville, getting closer to Clinton. And before I toss things back over to Kat, I'll give you a live look at Clinton, and you can see just how quickly those clouds are moving. Again, look at the American flag up there, just really blowing. So this is out in anticipation of that rotation. that's coming in from the south. If you're watching from Garland, I know, again, you guys had that tornado during Debbie. You guys are in the clear from the worst of this storm, but Kat, it looks like the worst of it is starting to get into Clinton. And this warning is for another 20 minutes, correct?
It is. Okay. It will go for another 20 minutes likely. The National Weather Service in their chat actually just said a moment ago, the rotation is a bit weaker. It's not as concerning as it was 10, 15 minutes ago. So, you know, that's good news. I know folks in Clinton are probably really nervous right now as you're seeking shelter. It's not as strong as it was before. However, we want you to remain sheltered in your safe place, which is the lowest level of your home, the most interior room, until the area that has been rotating passes, just because with these tropical tornadoes, they're not like a springtime supercell tornado. They flare up and rotate, drop down very quickly. The rotation's weaker, but the National Weather Service has said it is still sufficient and strong enough to continue the tornado warning right now. We are getting in some new reports of water rescues ongoing. We need to take a look at the triangle really quickly. Let me pull this back to the triangle right now. We're going to zoom in using the dual Doppler 5000 radar. Since that is in Wake County, it gives us the best view inside the storm. We're hearing of water rescues at the moment in Durham. A vehicle water rescue at 711 Wortley Drive. We also have reports of a 5-vehicle car crash. 3 of 5 lanes closed on I-40 westbound in Wake County. That's near Garner, near Jones Sausage Road. That's a big issue out there. We're getting updates on a flash flood warning that was just issued as well for Johnston, Sampson, and Wayne County. So right now, let me pull up those flash flood warnings. If you live in Sampson County, not only are you under the threat of the tornado and some rotation, you are also under a serious risk for some flash flooding. We're going to switch over to the Wilmington radar because that one is a little bit closer to the folks in Clinton. So here's that new flash flood warning. That expires at 3:45. It is only 11:42 right now, so the flash flooding could be ongoing for a while. The flash flood warning includes all of Johnston County now, all of Wayne County, and all of Sampson County. That's our newest flash flood warning. We also had the flash flood warning for Durham, Chapel Hill, Raleigh, and all of Wake County that expires at 3 o'clock. And Fayetteville and Harnett County, you are still under a flash flood warning until 1:30. So keep in mind, you know, tornadoes are a threat, but flash flooding with vehicles being submerged and water rescues is a very real danger in addition to the rotation and the tornado threat. Let's get a look inside the storm right now in Clinton. We're going to use the storm relative velocity here. Not quite as concerning as the rotation scans that we saw before, but you're about to get hit with some of the worst of it over the next 10 minutes if you live in Clinton. So if we can pull up a double box with camera 37 in Clinton, that way we can just take a live look at what's happening there in Clinton, or there we go, just to see. It looks, okay, the flag's moving. I wondered if we had lost power there in Clinton. With some of the strong winds, it's very possible that we could lose power. And now's a good time to remind you, if you do lose power, you can stream us using the WRAL News app throughout the day. That way you have access to our information all throughout the day. So in Clinton, we are seeing some gusty winds, the rotation just not as robust as it was earlier. Another tool that we have here at WRAL is this rotation detector. There have been many times today that meteorologist Chris Michaels and meteorologist Amy Wilmoth have been showing this tool to you on air. And, you know, there have been quite a few times today that we've actually gotten into the red. The red means strong rotation. Right now, we are back in the green. And if we loop this over the past 30 minutes for what we have seen there in Samson County, we were definitely in the red as this crossed over the Garland community earlier. You can see that red approaching Garland at 11:23. But notice you've really seen those colors begin to fade as the storm has approached Clinton. So if you live in Clinton, that is good news. Don't come out of your safe place yet. But if you're really anxious right now, you can breathe a little sigh of relief. It's not looking so bad. And just to kind of reassure you at the moment, I want to pull up the correlation coefficient. This is basically our debris detector that we use in the radar. And I'm going to switch back to a different radar site here, but there's nothing concerning. I know you see a little bit of blue there, but the way that's spiking like that, it's definitely not a typical debris signature, and I'm not seeing anything evident of any kind of debris or a tornado on the ground in Clinton. It's just this tornado warning is telling you, you know, the storm has a history of some robust rotation. We think it would be best and in your best interest, if you were in your safe place at the moment, let the storm pass. You only have about 10 more minutes to sit in your safe place, and then you're going to be good to go after that. So you're almost there, folks. We aren't quite done with the severe weather in Wake County. I do want to take a live look, zoom in here. We've got the storm tracker right on 40 eastbound, it looks like, here in Wake County. It is a live picture right there, as you see on the right side of your screen. You can see some puddling on the roads, some ponding on the roads, it looks like. The rain's really coming down. The thing about these cells is, they're rain wrapped. You're not going to be able to see any of the rotation inside the storms.